In an earlier video, I showed you this Power BI interface to summarize Georgia exports. It's a pretty useful way of understanding the makeup of our state's export economy. If you're satisfied looking at year totals, you can understand at a fine-grained level the amounts and the destination countries for Georgia exports. But this little trend line on the bottom of the screen is a teaser that leads into today's topic. You see, there are two types of questions that this screen does not help us with. These involve change over time. In today's video, I'm going to show you how Power BI can answer these two questions. What product categories have the greatest gain or loss? What countries were responsible for those gains and losses? So let's take a look. As with our first screen, we've got this hierarchy view of product codes. You can expand to see successive levels of detail, just like before. But that is where the similarity ends. This screen is all about the comparison of two different time periods, and you can see the currently chosen time periods up at the top. At the time this video is recorded, we only have the first 10 months of 2018 census data to work with. So for purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to compare the first 10 months of 2018 with that same time window of 2017. Later in this video, I'll show you how you can change those dates. But for now, just remember that everything being reported is in one of these two periods. Okay, so let's look at the columns here. We've got the harmonized codes. That's pretty straightforward. Period one total, that's the dollar value of January 2017 to October 2017. It's in millions of dollars. Likewise, the period two total, the net difference between them, and the percent change. So if I wanted to emphasize what's changed the most based on percent, I can just sort on that column. Or if I was interested in the dollar change amount, I could sort on this column. And when I do that, this particular entry may jump out at you as well. The pulpwood category has had a net increase in comparing the two 10-month time periods of $626 million. That's a 23% increase. We're going to use this example to dig into the data a little bit today. But the main thing I'd have you see is that the left hand of this display is for orienting you and to navigate within the data. The right half of the screen is meant to reveal details about whatever you've selected on the left side. So if I choose just pulpwood, the graph at right will update to reflect that segment of the data. The two panels are directly linked to each other. So what is this graph showing me? It shows the monthly average sale amount for Georgia pulpwood grouped by the destination country. Entries are ordered by period one totals in descending order. That's the light blue. And immediately underneath it is the period two totals for each country. From this graph, you can tell that both China and Mexico increased their purchase of Georgia pulpwood between the two time periods. This bar graph gives you a rough visual, but if you wanted to look at the nitty-gritty numbers, you might choose the table view. We've not made any change to the left pane. We're still looking at pulpwood, but this is showing detailed numbers ordered by the average monthly dollar change. We can exercise the column sorting to tell different stories. What country purchased the most in period one? That's what we're looking at right now. Who experienced the greatest percent change? And finally, what about the largest dollar change? All these are slightly different stories. The color coding and the width of columns is meant to emphasize the numbers that are printed. Now, if we wanted to explore this in more detail, we could drill into the hierarchy on the left side of the screen. Here we may see that these top two entries, 48 and 47, account for the gains made in this overall pulpwood category. Pay attention on the right side of the screen as I toggle between these two categories. Indonesia, Mexico, and China all have an interesting interaction in their purchase history over these two periods. If you wanted to explore this even further, you can expand the hierarchy and drill into any one of those segments. So far, we have been evaluating a 10-month period. But what if we were interested in comparing a full year's worth of data for, let's say, 2013 versus 2017? Well, this is a straightforward thing to change. It's involving changing these parameters up here, which is available over in the field section in a parameters table. I'm going to quickly make those changes. And then we'll hide this display. As soon as I change these dates, the captions at the top and the data in the visuals are updated. If I sort by the net change, we'll see that pulpwood is really not in that top list as it was before, but vehicles, optical, machinery, these are the items, these are the top level harmonized categories that are contributing to the most significant change. There's one other thing that I would like to show you about this Power BI interface. If you were paying close attention when we changed the date parameters, you may have noticed there were two other parameters that we left alone. These appear at the top with the other parameters, and they serve to filter content on the right pane. In essence, they help reduce the noise of smaller transactions. The first parameter says, only show me countries whose average monthly difference between the two periods is at least $500,000. The second parameter says, only show me countries who account for at least 1% of the total Georgia market in that particular category. Much like the modification of the dates, you can relax these numbers upwards or downwards to help you focus your attention on what interests you most. I hope this video has sparked your curiosity about Power BI and how it can make sense of census export data in Georgia. Please let me know if I can help you make use of these sorts of Microsoft data tools in your organization.